Why is purpose important when talking about branding and strategy? And how can your business organization start incorporating a purpose-led brand strategy into your organization to drive the right clients to become long-term customers? In this video, I'll give you all the insights you need to start building a purpose-led brand. If we haven't met before, I am Jessie, the founder of the Brand Catalyst, a brand and marketing workshop that teaches and mentors business how to create long-term and sustainable brands rooted in brand purpose. But before we start, for the best business, marketing and branding advice, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video every Thursday. Did you know that 64% of millennials and Generation Z want companies to take a stand when it comes to political, environmental, social and cultural things close to their hearts? Also, 74% of the population say that their buying decisions are influenced by the words, values and actions by companies' leaders. So 66% of baby boomers and 60% of Generation Z and millennials say that they're attracted to buying from brands that are actively trying to decrease the amount of plastic they use. And all of these stats I should mention are coming from a research study carried out by Accenture. So these are just really strong insights for you as a business to make the leap and start creating a more meaningful business that are driven by purpose and makes a difference in the world. And yes, we're not all doctors and nurses, and nor should we be, but as businesses, we can still make active choices to start delivering based on a more meaningful agenda. Does this sound a little fluffy? Let's try and break it down further. First, ask yourself what drives your business beyond making money. What excites you in what you do and what you deliver to your most loyal customers? Why do they choose you? Try and formulate this into one simple sentence to create that clarity. So this is what you should use to connect with your audience and the reason why they should care about you. Let's say, for instance, that you work in the educational sector. You might then say that your purpose are to help shape the future of kids. So if you think about someone like Dove, they've just done a really good job in embracing the purpose. So they're talking about creating a positive body image for women. And this message just ties really nicely into their product range. So they do hair care and body products, right? So this just makes it even more relevant for their ideal customers because these things ties perfectly together. But most importantly, when you're talking Dove and embracing the positive body image, they're really tapping into something emotionally, something we all care about. So when you're looking at Dove on the shelf in the supermarket, you're really buying into the feel-good factor. And that's what's going to differentiate them from all the competitors on the shelf. So they still have the visuals and they still have the naming, they have a pricing strategy, but what's going to set them apart is this purpose-led strategy. So there are three main benefits from driving a purpose-led brand and business. First of all, you're going to add value to the lives of your customers who's interacting with your business or buying your product. And you're going to have a positive impact on the society in which your organization are operating. And secondly, you're going to have something that sets you apart from your competitors. You're going to have that differentiator in having a purpose-driven value proposition and a reason for your customers to choose you over the competitors. And lastly, you're going to have an inside-out approach where your people within your organization really understand what it is that you're standing for, and therefore you can drive a positive culture rooted in the purpose of your brand. And for the last point, I just want to dwell with it a second because I truly believe and advocate that no business can say one thing and do another thing. You can't have a purpose that you tell your clients that this is what is driving us as an organization, and then the next day in the newspapers they're reading something different that is completely contradicting with everything that you stand for. And that's why it becomes increasingly important to live and breathe this purpose as a part of your core values within the organization. So a purpose-driven brand comes from the inside out in the organization, and it empowers your employees to make decisions that are benefiting the purpose of your organization. Let's dive into what this looks like and how you can start activating this for your business. But first, comment below and let me know what's the most important thing for your brand and business. So let's dive into what you can do to start building brand purpose and delivering on that. It's actually not that difficult, because when you're building brand purpose, you're tapping into things that your audience naturally already care about. But if you want to change or start developing brand purpose, you need to make sure that you're doing it as authentic as possible in a sustainable way. There's just no turning back from a bad press and rep based on doing one thing but saying something else. So start by looking into what the world generally needs. What do your customers care about? What are their passions? And what are you delivering on? And then you need to figuring what are the match here so that you can get in sync with that. So I'd encourage you to write it down to no more than 3 lines. Be honest, what are your company really passionate about? Because you need to be able to deliver long term within this. And I'd also say, don't get tempted to try and figure out what you think your audience might want to hear. If it doesn't fit, don't try and shoehorn female empowerment or a greater cause in the universe into your brand positioning and to your values, because it's just never gonna fit, and it's going back to you not being able to reflect it authentically, and therefore it's just gonna die and it's never gonna work. So next up, what is the values of your organization, and how do you operate as a business? And how does these things fit in what you're really passionate about and what it is that you're delivering on? So think about this and write down again a couple of lines to figure this out and be super sharp on it. But just make sure that you are not being complex, and remember, you don't have to keep it charity focused. A passion can be anything. And don't panic at all. I know that you already have a purpose as an organization. You're now just trying to really consolidate it and distill it into something super targeted and concrete that you can then start embracing as an organization. And do remember from the stats we talked about in the beginning that customers more than ever, they expect a purpose-driven agenda from an organization. So I'm sure that once you've found out what your purpose is and you really start working it into anything you do, it will be warmly welcomed by all of your customers. So if you're ready to take this to the next level, I'm really excited for this one, because I've actually created a webinar that you can attend. I'll leave the link for you below. And we really go in depth with what it means to create a purpose-driven brand. And we'll talk about different communication strategies and positioning that you can use for your business to actively start activating this in a real-life context. And lastly, if you want to join a community for like-minded business people where I share tips and tricks and insights from the industry on an ongoing basis, feel free to join my closed Facebook group in the link below. There's so many exciting things that you can start diving into to drive a purpose-led brand and business. Make sure you check out some of my latest videos within this topic here. I'll see you in the next one.